What is good and welcome back, children of the covenant. I'm kind of far from you today. It feels weird. Anyway, there's no script for today's video. I just want to talk about some things to note about owning a C5 Corvette. In case you guys didn't know, this is my C5 Corvette Z51 that I purchased 4 months ago when I was just 18 years old and fresh out of high school. This car has been a dream of mine for so long. I mean by about a year. And I was so stoked when I could finally pick one up. However, there are a few things I wish I would have done differently my first time around when buying this car. Now this car, excuse the wind, but this car for me was only $9,000. That is the first time I have ever shared that price, and I thought I was getting a steal, and I probably was. However, this car has 196,000 miles, and I've only put about 100 miles on it since I bought it. And in my time of ownership, I had to replace 2 EBCMS modules, and that problem's still not fixed. For that story, watch my video about the guy who scammed me out of one, and then I was forced to buy a broken one to stop the brake leak. I have replaced the serpentine belt, the harmonic balancer bolts, the front engine oil seal, and other miscellaneous parts. But this car still, after all of that, has a slow oil leak coming from somewhere. And it's super frustrating, but at least it's not as bad as it was. There used to be a big puddle, now there's just a bunch of drips everywhere in my garage, so that's better. Eventually I will fix that, but originally I was not planning on fixing this, and those of you who have been here for a long time will know that I was planning on selling this car, and I almost did. For many weeks, this car was for sale on Marketplace, and I had a couple serious offers, but a lot of people were just tire kickers, and the serious offers never came through. So I decided that I was not going to part with my dream car, especially since the C5 Z06 that I was really wanting sold. And there was other C5 Z06s, but they were either too expensive and too bad of shape, or just not what I wanted. And I decided that I was going to sell this car and just buy something completely different, but I didn't. Instead, I decided that I'm going to keep this car and eventually do what I've always wanted from it, which is I wanted a 6-speed manual transmission, which they make in the T56 transmission. However, that swap was just something that I didn't feel confident in doing, and something I still don't feel confident in doing, especially when it's my only car. This is my daily driver after all, because this car still has a lot of issues to fix before that, like an oil leak and some suspension squeaking, as well as it's probably going to need a new belt soon. I don't know why, but for some reason the new belt I put on looks really bad. So if you guys have any suggestions on why that might be, please let me know. But anyway, I was planning on getting rid of this car for so long. It had so many issues, like the common issues, but still so many. It had tears in the seats. It had the rubber sealing on the windows was just so shot that it leaks water whenever you wash it, which is really unfortunate. The inside on the driver's panel, the buttons are all out of whack, so a lot of times you can't even get your windows to roll down. A lot of times there's just no response, and just little things like that. But I still don't plan on selling this car now. I plan on doing everything I wanted to do to a manual car to this car. But I'm gonna wait to do those things until I do a manual swap. And you might be saying, yo, I thought you just said you want a manual swap your daily. That's exactly right. That's why I'm going to start car flipping once again and take you guys along on that journey with me. And I'm going to be starting a new project that I'm really stoked about. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it is related to Ferrari. So if that excites you at all, stick around. But yeah, I'm so excited. I can't even contain it. So my plan is to get my Cobalt SS engine swap completed, and once that's completed, then I'm going to start working on that project, and once that project's completed, then we're going to start on the Corvette. And so you might be saying it's going to take a long time. Yeah, it probably will. Probably won't get started until next year, but this car is still going to be present on the channel, and I can finally shoot videos with it now that I have decided that I'm not getting rid of it. There's body work, like you guys saw in the opening, that needs to be done. I've always wanted to learn how to do that, so I really have nothing to lose. If I mess it up, I'm going to have to send it to a body shop anyway. So I'm just excited to practice on this car and do a lot of fun stuff with it. it's got some aftermarket goodies, and it's already pretty loud, but I have plans to make it louder. Wait, I'm not done yet. I haven't told you what it's like to drive this car at all. So first, driving this car is really fun, but getting in and out is such a pain. I'm 19 and I thought that I would have no problem, like the older people do, getting in and out of this car, but the thing is, I have just as much as a problem as they do. I've never felt so old and fat in my life. This car really is humiliating in that regard, and it's not even that low to the ground. I think it's just on Bilstein shocks, which I think might be a little lower than factory suspension, but not by much. Anyway, so that's one thing that's really crummy about this car. Another thing is, it's got lots of squeaks and rattles, and that's just typical of any old car, and I have a lot of bushings apparently I need to replace, so that's gonna stink. But just little things like that, little uncomfortabilities, are what make this car not so fun to drive. However, what makes this car a blast to drive is the engine, and then the wheels spinning in the back. It's got a limited slip differential, so it makes it really, really easy to slide, even if you have an automatic transmission like me. My plan right now is just to drive until either the engine or transmission blows up, and then that's probably when I'll start on the swap. But I'm so excited to keep this car because I wanted this car in black, and I found it in black, and that's dope. Even though the paint's rough in a lot of places, I still have a black car that's pretty nice for right now. It's definitely nicer than the Cobalt I had, or have. And eventually I do want to either repaint or rewrap this car, but I'm going to practice that on the Ferrari related project that I'm doing. If I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm sorry, I've just been yapping. I didn't practice this at all. But if you guys are still with me, I'm not going to ask you to subscribe. You can if you really want to. Rather, I'm just going to ask you guys to let me know what you guys think I should do with this car, what you guys think the Ferrari related project is actually going to be, and how I can make these videos better. I apologize if the wind was bad. I normally film inside. I'm trying to film outside, and it's a bit windy, it's a bit overcast, so I'm sorry about that. I love you all. Have a blessed day.